All right, welcome to the second part of this video. I'm going to show you how to model the notched bar and use FEA or FEM to calculate the stress concentration factor. So if you're new to ANSYS and you want to download it, you can go to their ANSYS website, ansys.com/academics /students, and you can click on the ANSYS student. It'll say free download now, and you'll click on that and it will download a zip file, and you can unzip that and run the setup executable, and it will install. And then if you want to open it, you go to your apps, go down to your ANSYS 2025 R2, all the way down at the bottom. You'll click on Workbench with SPEOS 2025 R2, and that will open up this main menu here. And you can see over here, there's quite a few different analyses that you can run. There's buckling, some electronics analyses, LS-DYNA, which is used for capturing motion and the interaction of objects in motion. You can do modal analysis, random vibration, rigid dynamics. You can do a response spectrum for vibration. What we're going to be interested in is running a static structural analysis because we're just calculating the stress in a notch. So what you do is you click on this, and you'll see over on the right a bunch of green text box will show up. So you'll drag this over into the text, into the green box, and it will populate another little mini menu like this. Now I've already have one open, so I'm going to delete that. And for our analysis, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go in order. So we're going to go ahead and add a material property. So you'll double click this. Now, I have some materials already listed here, but if you want to add a new material from the ANSYS library or add one yourself, what you'll do is right click Engineering Data Sources, and ANSYS provides a library. So I am using materials out of the general library, materials library. Um, and what you'll see is there's a bunch of materials here. There's aluminum, concrete, FR4. The list goes down. But let's say we want to add copper. So you'll come over here to this yellow cross and you click it. And then you can go back to your engineering data sources and you'll see that it now shows up in your materials. So if you were doing an assembly analysis with multiple parts with different materials, you could populate this with all your materials and apply them individually to each part. For our case, we're just modeling one part with one material property. Next, I'll show you how to create the notched bar. So I'm going to go right click, Geometry, and you'll see there's some options here. You can edit geometry in Space Claim, Discovery, or Design Modeler. Now these are ANSYS's version of basically a CAD software for you to create and manipulate geometry. And I prefer to use Design Modeler just because I learned on ANSYS many years ago, and I am most proficient using Design Modeler. So after we open that up, you'll see I guess your workspace here. Now I've already created the sketch for our notch, but I'll briefly show you how to sketch. So if you want to make a new sketch, what you do is you go up here and you hit Create New Plane. And then you can create the plane from the global. These are the global planes that are available. So this is your global, this will be your global coordinate system. And every model will have this global coordinate system. So if you wanted to make a new plane, you can create a plane from the global planes. And you can do things like transform it, you can offset, rotate. Um, for our instance, I already have a plane here. And if you want to kind of look at this in the normal direction, you can click the Z vector here, this axis down here on the right, and click it, and it will orientate you normal to the XY plane. And if you want to draw, you go over here to the sketching tab, and there's some options for geometry that you can draw. So in this instance, I drew a line, a few lines, and a circle. So to draw a line, you can click 2 points, and if you see that V show up, it means that it will uh, snap the line to a vertical orientation. And then if you make a horizontal line, you'll see the H show up. It will snap that line to another horizontal point. So rather than go in here to constraints and click, perpendicular, parallel, uh, those constraints will, or rather, it will make that line vertical or horizontal for you. Now, if you want to draw a circle, you can go to the draw menu, click circle, and select your center point, and then draw to the diameter that you want. In this instance, to create this quarter circle, what I've done is I've trimmed the circle to the other lines that I've created. So you can go to here to modify and select trim, and you can click on the outer edges that you want trimmed, and it will snap the circle to the nearest feature. Now I've already dimensioned the sketch, but you can go here and there are different options for dimensioning. General, if you click general and say click on, I'll get an error because I already have a dimension there, but you can see that it will show your vertical dimension. Um, Now I'm going to delete that because I don't want it over constrained because I already have a dimension there. So for our notch, we've populated the dimensions from based on our hand calc. So we have a 1.5-inch diameter circular notch. So the radius will be 0.75 inches. The height I've made to 10 inches, and the half the width, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to mirror this geometry to create the full bar. So I have here this H5 dimension is 2.5 inches, which is half of our width. So if we go back here, we wanted our width H, our big H, to be 5. Next, to create the actual feature, the geometry that we're working with, we're going to go up here to create and click extrude. Now you'll have some options down here to populate in order to extrude that. First, you'll see that it says geometry. What you want to do is click on your sketch, click apply, make sure it says add material, and then here we're going to change the depth of the extrusion to 2 inches. And now we're going to click generate. And what we see is we have 1/4 of the bar modeled. So in order to get the rest of the bar, I'm going to do some mirror operations, just so I don't have to sketch the whole thing. And there's different ways that you can model the bar, but I've chosen to do it this way. So I'll go to create body transformation mirror, Now again, we have some options down here, and if you see this yellow box populated, if it's yellow, that means that ANSYS requires this as an input for the um, operation to succeed or continue. So I'm going to click on our body, and click apply. Then I'm going to choose our mirror plane. So in this instance, we're going to mirror it about the Z X plane. And again, over here you have your uh, global coordinate system. So we're mirroring it about the ZX plane. I'm going to click apply and then generate. Now we're going to do one more mirror operation. So I'm going to go up here and again, I'm going to go to create body transformation mirror. I'm going to click the whole body now. And now it merged those results because we chose to preserve bodies. Yes. So if you do that, it will preserve the mirror geometry as well as the mirrored geometry. And we're going to select our plane is going to be the YZ plane. Click apply and then generate. And now we have our notch bar. So we'll go up here and we'll click save. Next, we'll go back to the ANSYS main menu and we'll click on model.